Welcome back to the Rock and Roll channel. Don't know why we have two circles on the screen. I tried fixing that with Brian, but I just couldn't fix it. But we're still going to take on the show and the task at hand. What I have right there, where does FSU go from here? You're probably not going to like what we have to say. We're going to be honest, and we're obviously fresh off James Franklin being fired. I don't think that plays a role into Florida State's decision. The only thing I could see is if they actually did want to pony up the money, they wouldn't want to share the day with Penn State, because Penn State's the hot name right now in that regard. So, Brian, we're not going to talk about the game from yesterday. The bio reads the same. Florida State outcoached, outplayed, linebackers struggled, and we lose the game. We could probably write that bio for future games as well. So my question is, I came on your show back in August, and you right away posed the question. Do you think Norvell is the guy long term? I said no. You did as well. It's sad to say, we're right, huh?
Yeah, I don't. I not only feel strongly about it, now it's just a matter of how much pain do you endure before you can buy the medicine to cure the illness. And that's basically, this all comes down to the most important word in our society, and that's money. Penn State has some deep pockets because the contract, I knew it was somewhere around 50, but somebody said it's 49 plus is what it breaks down to that they owe it. Norvell's deal is almost identical in terms of what's left. Now, how it's structured and all that, I'm not specifically sure how much would be owed up front, but Penn State, they've got renovations going on at their stadium too. Mm-hmm. That school just has more economic feasibility to make it happen, or else it wouldn't have happened.
Right, that's true.
So Florida State, this is my take. They don't have the personnel to run what they want on defense. I just posted about that on Locked On Seminoles today. They are kind of stuck. They're going to lose a whole bunch of players that are seniors, and they're still not very good. They need a ton of money for the portal this offseason. Who's going to want to come here? They are stuck in a middle of the Bermuda Triangle, if you
purgatory.
Yeah, it's just so awkward because you can't pay for everything all at once. It just doesn't work that way. So I said it before, and I'll say it again, and I'll probably get a lot of people very angry at this. I don't expect Norvell gone after this season or after next season because of the money situation. I expect it to be after 2027 because who's paying for it? I'm a guy that needs to see it. And I said the same thing about James Franklin, and they fired him 4 days later. So I didn't think there was any chance they would fire him. I knew they had more money, but they're just tired of it. And getting beat by Northwestern, I did not see.
And you see,
yeah, like Northwestern punched them in the mouth in the fourth quarter. They ran generic inside runs and just ran over them. Florida State's not good, but that's not what's happening here. Like Penn State's players are on that borderline quit factor. It's getting real close. They may not make a bowl game.
Yeah, and you lost your starting quarterback for the year.
Yeah. Penn State's next three, good luck to them. We're at Iowa, bye week, at Ohio State, home to Indiana.
Oof. yeah. So there's 3 losses right there. No, they had. I thought the same thing as you until I saw James leaving the field last night, and he basically gave that one last look to the stadium.
Oh,
he waited. Wow. He gave that last look around as he's getting booed and called every name in the book, and he waited there an extra minute or two. And I said, he's done. He's done. That was his farewell. So
what a terrible way to leave, losing to Northwestern at home.
I mean, 2 weeks ago, you were on top of the world hosting Oregon. That's how college football can change on a dime. No other sport like it.
No, it's not. It's all emotional, which is not the best way to be, but that's how it works.
No. So, obviously, I can't see Norvell lasting to 2027. I just think they're going to bring – they can bring – I know, but the thing is they can look at the numbers and say, all right, it cost us this much to buy him out, but we're going to lose X amount of dollars, and we still have some renovations to pay for, and how are we going to sell these luxury suites with a coach nobody wants to see?
Well, I'm glad you said that. Here's the thing. I mentioned this before on my pod, and it's probably going to be on every War Chant, Nolecast, everywhere. It's going to be the same thing. There's only one thing that fans and boosters can do, and it's awkward. You have to tell them no. You're not giving a dime until Norvell is gone. You You've got to make them publicly embarrassed, which sucks because you don't want them to be embarrassed, but it's the only way it's going. You got to not go to the games even if you bought tickets, stuff like that. Really?
Oh, I agree. No, you have to put your foot down. College, we can do that. NFL, you can't.
Well, to a certain degree, Bengals fans might disagree, but they had a long 30 years of that.
But you're not going to affect a stadium or a practice facility because people don't show up to a game or donate like college. I think yesterday was the first sign of like the diehards for Norvell that are like, we're done.
Yep.
Last year you had a 50-50. A lot of people just gave him a pass for the year before. People gave him a pass for Virginia, even Miami to a degree. Yesterday was where everybody was saying we're done.
Yeah.
Alfred's smart enough to know that. But that being said, he keeps a very low profile during the season when it comes to like fan frustration or a team struggling.
Sure.
That's my question: is how hands-on is he in this situation behind the scenes? Is he doesn't seem my type of guy. Like, if I'm the AD, I'm not going to micromanage my coach because no good coach wants to come work for me then. But I might have said, hey, Mike, what were you thinking on 4th and 8 at your 40 against Miami? I think Alfred's always thinking of his projects and his next projects, and I think he loves Mike to a degree.
Yeah, that may be the case, but he's not the guy.
No.
It's just.
And he doesn't want his reputation on the line.
Yeah, so I don't know how long it will take, and I don't know how many true power players there are in the Florida State booster hierarchy, but that's the bottom line. I was told right before 24, right after the season, the main guy, whoever it is, really liked Norvell, and he thought he'd eventually turn around. And then, of course, they hit that season, in 23, I mean. But they hit that season. Then he was all in. He gets the contract. And then, of course, all hell breaks loose in 2024.
Right.
Everything is timing. Once that ink is dry, it's on paper. You can't get out of that.
Right.
Norvell was signed through 2031 or something like that. It's just – I forget. It's somewhere around there. He's not going to take a less deal. If you fire him, you're going to pay him.
Yeah, he's not going to take. Sexton's not allowed.
You can restructure the buyout. No, you can't, because they just got to tell you no, or take you to court and drag you through the mud publicly.
Absolutely.
There's no winning with coaching contracts. You're the loser as a school every time.
Jimmy Sexton, even if his client wanted,
he's not going to do.
Yeah, if Mike called Jimmy Sexton and say, I'm so embarrassed for the job I've done, I want to try to make an amicable split with Florida State, he's not going to let him. Yeah, that's the world we live in. And then you got to call Jimmy to negotiate with the next person.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at. What's frustrating me is, and I'd love your sense on this, I don't even know why we're having this discussion, but FSU fans we're quite the breed, and I guess revisionist history sometimes supersedes. And first off, my friend King, who are they going to bring in? His is we're going to tie into this right now. Thanks for the comment there. I personally am nauseous hearing the bring Jimbo Fisher back stuff.
That's not realistic.
It's not realistic, and it is so. Listen, people entitled to their opinion, and I respect it, and I really try on these shows to not come across like I know everything, because I surely don't. That's why I love when you come on, because you really, enlighten me well. But it's the most asinine thing I've ever heard. All the guy did was say you weren't good enough for him. All he did was drag you through the mud his last year. All he did was flirt with other schools, especially the week of the Florida game, when that's kind of a big game for other jobs. And then he failed at the stop after, where he quote, and I say quote, had everything under the sun that he could have ever dreamed of. And the guy who's replaced him is undefeated right now. So the argument of, well, it's just so hard to win in Texas A&M is kind of out the window right now. I don't care that he cried on college, whatever, ACC huddle, that he's rejuvenated. And his offense, did we not remember his offense, how antiquated it was? And we talked about this the first time he came on my show, how horrible he was for the most part when it came to OL evaluation and recruiting. And what has been our Achilles heel since he left? Now, that's not his fault. The previous two coaches have failed. I mean, previous coaches have failed since him. But the situation he left us in there, and just, I hate the topic. Like, what is your take on it? What is your opinion?
If they were to fire Norvell, he'd be the perfect guy to be the interim for like 6 months or something. But that's not Jimbo's mentality.
No.
He doesn't want to do that. He's got to be all in or all out. That's just who he is, and that's fine.
That's an alpha male.
They need a younger guy that is open-minded about who he hires and how they do things. Jimbo is incredibly stubborn. He's going to do it his way, come hell or come high water, and that's why he failed at the end at Florida State and why he failed at Texas A&M.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not an option. Not an option.
I mean, I got to imagine the people who are still there haven't forgotten how he left and how he acted while he was there. And maybe he was nice to the fans and good to players and everything, but as far as administration, as far as people in the building, wasn't the most pleasant to be around. Now, time changes. People, maybe he's had a wake-up call. Like, I get it. I'm not saying he's probably the same person, but imagine the first conversation is, who's running your offense? I don't know how well he takes that question.
Well, that's what I mean. He's got to be the guy, and that's the point. That those days are over.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to accept change.
And the number one argument I hear is for him coming back is, look at how he was as a recruiter at Florida State. Well, recruiting has changed since he's left.
Yeah. Yeah, Florida State doesn't have the same abilities that Texas A&M does with the wallet either. So, yeah.
That's the thing. If it's Jimbo just selling Florida State against another school, just selling their school, he's as good as it gets.
Yeah, he's tremendous.
But that's not recruiting these days.
No.
Jimbo has to sell the school plus write a check. I'm not saying we're what, top 10, top 20 in NIL money. I'm hearing. I'm sure the numbers fluctuate all the time. I think it's a horrible idea, and I think it's amazing how a little thing on X can spiral out of control. Is this where Alfred has to put out a statement, not saying no to Jimbo, but just where he says Mike's our guy for the rest of the year?
I don't know.
Yeah.
If you say it like that, that makes it – if you're bringing up that there's the option. So I don't think he'll say anything. That's the unfortunate part. If fans want definitive, and that brings us back to the point we made earlier in the show, this is going to be kind of like, ironically, I'm not trying to bring politics in it, kind of like the government shutdown. Yes, no conversation. Fans are going to say, no, we're not going to give money. And they're going to say, he's our guy, because they have to say that.
Yeah.
For recruiting purposes and players not hitting the portal. The administration, while they haven't done this well, there's no good answer for what they can do short term. There's none. It's not available because there's no savior that has a tie to Florida State they could hire. The buyout is insane. You got the stadium problem with all the money. It's $200 million, give or take. And then you're trying to get out of the ACC. And, oh, by the way, you just hired a bunch of expensive assistants. There's no way.
Yeah.
I still stay, I hope I'm wrong. I think he's here another 2 years.
Wow. I'll take the under there.
I hope you're right and I'm wrong.
No, and I 100% can see why you think that. Because you and I were like right on the train saying, man, I don't think it's an option. And then keep in mind, Penn State's now open. It's a better job right now. You got more resources.
It's not even close.
Yeah, it's not even close. I hate to say this, and the Nolan me hates to say this, but good chance the Florida job opens up still.
If it does, that's almost as good a job as there is in college football because it's in the SEC.
It's in the SEC,
it's
and you have
a place to recruit to.
Yeah, deep pockets there. The only thing that holds them back, and it can be fixed, is I don't want to give them ideas, but is the word is out, been out for a while, that if you go there, you have to answer to the Bull Gators nonstop. Not just the AD. And an elite coach does not want to deal with that nonsense.
That's why I think the next head coach would be the guy at Washington who obviously has ties because he went to school there, his wife went to school, all that stuff. Because not many people want to deal with all that crap.
Yeah.
You got to – so that's true. But
and the expectations of Florida are insane for a school that really hasn't won in a while. at a high level.
It's an easy job if you get the right coach, but the fan base will eat you alive. Their expectations are not realistic.
Right. And it's understood, I think, in that world. But it's still right now a better job than us. So that's why timing is bad too. And there's going to be some other jobs that open up, I'm sure, at some point.
The Auburn job's looking pretty likely too. That's another job they can pull in because they got deep pockets. That pull in somebody.
They're not afraid to spend.
No, they are not. So if things go sideways in Norman, Oklahoma, that job could open up too. They just scored 6 points against a rival, and that's the third time in 4 years that Venables' staff has failed to score a touchdown against the Horns, from what I read. I don't know if that's right, but I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
That will not be accepted in Norman. It just won't. And they got deep pockets too.
Oh, they do. And they're in SEC now. So they have the SEC money. That's why I think the thing is that we cleaned house last year. So usually that's the first step before the head guy goes. I think if tomorrow goes by like business as usual, he's not going anywhere, at least for this year. Yesterday reminded me of 2017. Head coach who looked defeated on the sidelines.
Yeah, there's some thoughts of that.
ESPN did a nice job of not focusing on him that much for whatever reason. How about Mel's friend of mine? How about Malzahn? We never wanted Gus here to be a head coach. I can see Gus as an intern for the rest of this year. That's it. Yeah, I agree. Oh, you're on me, Brian. There we go.
I don't think that's an option.
The Gus?
Yeah, I don't think that's it. No. He doesn't want to deal with NIL. Like, he's a very old school guy.
Yeah. That's why he's here. It's getting interesting now as the media is starting to turn on him. I don't mean like you, who's like independent. Well, you're on Locked On, but I'm talking about the local media who's there every day. They covered for him a lot last year. Because they liked him and he gave open practices and we were undefeated the year before.
The practices aren't open and stuff. I said that this spring. I said, you better win this fall because those people ain't got nothing to write about that live in Tallahassee. They're going to drop the hammer. You better win 10 games. And I knew that wasn't going to happen.
Right. So, and the goodwill he built, I'm not talking about the fans, but the local media is gone now.
Oh, yeah, it's over.
So that's big.
I read all those guys have already said, this ain't working.
I mean, when Corey Clark broke that stat out yesterday, I didn't know that stat. And I like to think I'm kind of a Florida State football nerd. Florida State's had 10 times they've had a 3-game losing streak or more in their entire existence. Mike is responsible for 6 of them. That ruined my day yesterday. I don't say ruin my day. I don't like to let football get me down. And Brian can attest to this. I texted him yesterday morning and said, I don't feel good about the game today. And you wrote, me too. Maybe we knew something, Brian, because everybody else picked us to win. I didn't feel good about it.
I thought Florida State would win just on raw talent, but the kid from Pittsburgh, Mason Heintrell, was even better than I thought. 64 rushing yards, even including getting sacked and a few short yard runs. Florida State can't tackle. And then he had 320-some yards passing. He looked like freaking Dan Marino, who played at Pitt, by the way. But
yeah,
he torched Florida State right in the middle of the field where it's the hardest because the linebackers can't cover anybody. Florida State's linebacker unit does not fit their scheme at all. They don't have the guys to do it. And they're being completely exposed. And I said it today on Locked On Seminoles, Jeremy. Coaches hate the word change. It's a 4-letter word to them. Tony White does not move a safety into the linebacker spot on third downs. Like, just play dime. If they run on you, they run on you. That's fine. But like the next time I see Herring in coverage on a wheel route, I mean, he can't guard anybody in space.
They had to pull him yesterday.
Yeah, they can't cover anyway. Like, Nicholson's not naturally a football player. He's just a great athlete.
Yeah.
That play on the second drive where he got faked out, did he make contact with Heintrell?
Whoa.
He's not. Like, they don't have a single linebacker that would have played in the 90s. Not a single.
No, not even special teams there. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but that's because I was there. I mean, that because I could see Tony telling Norvell on showing him on film, look at this. I diagrammed it. I had the linebacker in position to lay out the quarterback. He just missed.
Just didn't make the play. Yeah.
This
is the roster he inherited. That's all it is, man.
Yeah. He didn't have the ingredients to work with. He got some okay ones. He just didn't. We knew that going into the year. I don't know why people are so surprised now. Maybe because the Bama game gave people false hope.
Probably that hurts because you thought, okay, well, maybe we're turning the corner here,
Yeah.
But no.
Well, we can't have nice things. But that's the thing is, people brought up a stat. Tony White's defense, since he made the comment that he was on a UCLA Zoom call. I mean, fans will reach for anything these days. I know Alfred is big on social media. I don't know how much he reads of it, but I know he's big on it. I've never seen the nasty side of him. So I'm curious. I'm really watching him on this because Mike is safe, and Mike is also he was comfortable yesterday at the press conference after. Let's see. Josh Geiger.
He wasn't very happy with Tony White. I don't know if you saw that exchange going into the tunnel.
Man, I'm glad you said that. What do you think that was said there? He put his arm around. He wasn't
happy about how the defense got smoked because they couldn't do anything in the second half. They gave up 20 points in the second half, and they gave up too many critical plays.
But the fact that he said it to him on the field, that's so unlike Mike. He was fuming leaving the field. But since that, I guess since the Virginia game, man, you either run on us and take advantage of our linebacker, but if we drop back, man, so many guys. I mean, Brian McFadden said yesterday, he goes, it's scary how open people get against us.
Oh, it's
just. I mean, we don't have to harp on this. I just wanted to talk about where you think Florida State can go going forward. What you think Alfred can do to just. I mean, they lose to Stanford. I mean, that's a tarmac situation for Norvell.
I say it again. Who's going to pay?
Yeah, I'm sure they're having financials discussed yesterday and today, as far as what it would cost him, what they stand to lose if they keep him. There's enough smart people there that can figure that out.
Well, that game is on the West Coast. That's a little harder.
Night game there.
I don't know what time the ball game is. I haven't even looked.
10:30 our time, or 10:30 East Coast, 7:30 Pacific.
Their passing game's pretty anemic. They got 6 touchdowns, 4 picks. So they throw for 240 a game, but that's pretty standard. Rushing, this is interesting. They do have a running back that's got 400 yards, Micah Ford. Cole Tabb's got 194 yards. A couple guys that are okay, but they're not doing anything overall as a team because they're averaging 2.87 as a team. Like Florida State's one strength is just size up front. They'll probably struggle to run the ball. So if you don't turn it over, which is a big if with Florida State, win that game going away. Like just being real here.
I hear you, but has the team quit?
Well, that's the thing. We won't know until they get out to Stanford because this is another helmet game. This is another helmet game. They're not going to want to play Stanford.
Oh, and then you fly 5 hours out west, 6 hours out.
Yeah, it's a long flight.
It's a long flight. Mike doesn't handle these trips well. And I'm not trying to compound everything on Mike, but he's shown that a lot. So that's why I didn't like this game for a while. I said this could be one weird game that even if we're good this year, we could slip up at.
Yeah.
And it's showing. And who knows if there's ascension among the coaches now.
I would
Mike really called out Tony on the field yesterday. Now he put his arm around him. I don't know if it was I don't know what it was. We'll never know what was said. His body language walking up to him said a lot. But it is what it is. I just wanted to have you on as well because you were the first one to call out Norvell last year. And I'm not trying to say congrats, you're right. But I'm honored to have the guy on my show who did do that, who I agreed with, and we talked about that before the year when people had really forgotten about 2-10. So I appreciate you coming on today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
They're getting ready to play a defense that gives up 30.2 points per game and only averages 18.8.
Yeah, we're at the point now where nobody wants to hear what he says in press conferences, Mike.
Oh, I don't even report on him on my show.
What's the point?
Yeah,
Mike's always been tight-lipped to begin with.
Yeah, like he lies so much about the injury report. Let's talk about that. Rodell, no discussion. Squirrel, no discussion.
Pittman.
Yeah, Pittman, he allegedly tried to go.
He did. He warmed up and he went back and said, I can't.
Micah Pettis, we didn't know. That one was just obvious. But like they're lying. Like those reports they're supposed to give out to the league, that's all BS. Complete lie.
I knew that he was never going to be honest there. Yep. It's never been his nature. So why is he going to? Because the ACC tells him he has to. Yeah, you can write anything there. Like it doesn't really matter. I agree. I am curious to see how they do with Stanford this week for some weird reason. I'm curious to see how the media treats him this week at press conferences.
I think the gloves are off now. The gloves are off.
But they're not going to. Florida State media, for the most part, I've never seen one really push the envelope with a question.
Well, that's just North Florida people in general. They're pretty mild-mannered, but like it's time for him to be fired. That's obvious.
Yeah.
If you lose, the best thing I know this is going to sound weird. The best thing that happened to Florida State is they lose to Stanford. Then the administration is all but forced to do something.
Yeah, there's no way.
There's no excuse for losing to Stanford.
100%. 100%. And another thing he talked about, Mike, at press conference, I just remembered. He mentioned that he expected Desmond Reed to play during the week. They looked like they had never even watched film on the kid. Or young man, excuse me. Young man. I mean, it was so – yesterday reminded me of last year, 2017, when we weren't prepared, a team that kind of checked out.
Oh, yeah, they did.
We could talk about Tommy's this and that. I think he played hard yesterday.
Yeah, he's just not healthy.
He's not healthy, and he doesn't have his – Deuce is his safety net.
Deuce and him got a connection. Like, that's the one thing. Like, they're on the same page. They play well together.
Yeah.
But that doesn't do you any good when the situation is based on the defense more than the offense. Like, the offense wasn't great yesterday, but they scored 31 and still didn't win. In your own stadium.
That's what McFadden said. We used to tell our offense, just get us 19. 31 at any level, you should win a ball game.
Yeah, at Florida State. At home?
At home against an underdog?
Yeah.
Against a team you're better than? Against a true freshman? Embarrassing. I mean, that is a top, and he's had a lot of them, unfortunately. That might be a top 3 or 5 loss he's had in his time at Florida State.
Yeah, it's a pretty bad one.
Yeah. But man, anything you want to add? I gotta tell everybody, please go to Brian's show. I watched it yesterday like any fan would, and I really enjoyed what you had to say. I mean, obviously the topic sucked, but I always respect brutal honesty, and that's why I'm always grateful to have you on my show. So Locked On Seminoles, Brian, I don't know how you do it every day, my friend. It's not easy, especially now. So Locked On Seminoles, support Brian. Brian, anything else you want to that's on your mind, Florida State wise? Anything?
Now let's see what happens with the Penn State thing. I guess I can throw that out there. That'll impact everybody else with jobs. So the next week is really critical in the coaching search for the entire country because Penn State's a big job.
I agree, and I wonder if Sexton also, because I think Franklin is a Sexton guy. Go figure. If Sexton's saying if you are going to do this, if you're not going to do it, I'm sure he works with schools on when to make announcements because he has the power.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So, I'm sure there's a lot of political stuff there, but that's it for now. Just wanted to do some quick hitters and touch on the tough stuff. If people want to come at me later about Jimbo, that's fine. My opinion will not change, but I'm happy to listen. Happy to listen. But thank you, Brian, once again for coming on. I always appreciate your time. And
absolutely,
I will be listening to your show as always.
All right, brother.
Take care, everyone. God knows.